Grand rising, grand rising to my lions and lionesses, my kings and queens, my emperor and empresses, my gods and goddesses. Grand rising is such a beautiful day. Before we get into it, let's take some deep breaths. Get rid of whatever energy you need to get rid of. You can rub your pineal gland, exercise your pineal gland, open up your mind. Try to do the breathing slow. In, out. This is an exercise that you can do when you see that you're getting frustrated, when you're getting tense. You get rid of that emotion. And if you like, you can count them. To hold your breath in, when you breathe in, you can count in your mind, you can count up to 4. And you're breathing in, your breathing out should be more than your breathing in, because you're letting it go. So you're So we are going to talk some things today, and we're going to look at things logically, and we are going to use critical thinking in doing that. So, I wanted to get into some things, and I'm going to start right away. I like to record whether there is anyone on my live or not, because I know, after they can see it, and I'm not that interactive. I prefer to speak freely, but if anyone does come on the live and they, for future reference, if anyone does come on the line and you want to say something, feel free. If there is something that I'm saying that you want to challenge, or you have questions about, or if you if you might have anything to add to it, that will be great. If you want to see changes, you have to be a part of that changes. And if you want to create a better world, you have to be a part of creating that better world. So this is what I do to contribute my effort in higher living, higher state of mind. So yes, let's get into it. So as you can see, my topic, I'm going to talk about ascended masters, and everything. Most of my topics, I get into a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So even if that is my topic, I can, if I have covered that and I have more that I want to add to it, I will add to it. So ascended beings, right? Ascended masters. Who are they? Right? Ascended masters are just human beings like you and myself, who has transcended and who has ascended to their higher being, their higher self. That's an ascended master. By doing that, they have reached the stage of nirvana. Nirvana, it's mostly, this is mostly looked into by the Buddhists. And Buddha was an ascended master. He had reached a stage of enlightenment that he was able to detach himself from material things in such a way that he wasn't guided by those things. An ascended master, you basically become fearless, and you are living life in more of a pure way, in a natural way. You are connected with nature. You see the beauty of nature, and you understand in such a way that, you know, the regular human beings who hasn't ascended, you have reached that higher level. So Buddha was an ascended master, as was Christ, right? So Christ was a man. He walked this earth. He managed to reach that higher level, that higher state. And in doing so, according to the stories, he was able to teach that which he had learned from his experience, from what he was doing and stuff like that. So this is it. In his time, you know, maybe he did the things that he did. Buddha was an ascended master. There are many more ascended masters. Some of them are just not, they are not famous for it. You know, the monks, there are monks who are ascended masters. And sometimes, you know, spiritual people, they might not have reached the highest level, but they are ascending, you know. And when you reach to that stage that you are an ascended master, you can tap into abilities that others haven't tapped into. You will be able to heal. You will be able to do a lot of other things that may impress others around you to thinking that you're something else more than a human being. So anyone can become an ascended master. That's why I teach the things that I taught before, because in order to become an ascended master, you have to first look into yourself. You have to first deal with your pain, shred and heal. You have to be in such a state of mind that you're not only going to think about yourself, you're not only just going to think about human beings, you're going to think about the animals, you're going to think about the trees, you're going to think about the importance of nature. So if everyone is to become an ascended master, just imagine the world that we will be living in. So yeah, so that's what I'm basically teaching and promoting. Rising to your higher self, which is ascending. And when you say ascend, there's something called chakras, right? That's in alignment with your body from the top of your head right down, right? So each of them is for a level of emotion. And when you reach to a point that you reach to up here, which is your pineal gland, which is your crown, the crowning of your head, right? So that's why Christ was where they had him in a crown, because he had reached to the top where he has earned his crowning, right? So that is in a nutshell. You can go and you can research this information on your own. You can look into it deeper and see, you know. So as always, because Christ is being looked at in the way that he's being looked at, I'm just gonna go into that a little bit more. Like, let me ask a question. This is for critical thinking, right? If you're in school, right, and you're doing exams, right, and you are looking at somebody else's paper. No, let me give a different analogy. If you were given homework and you did not do your homework, you have someone else doing your homework for you, right? And you're taking it into the teacher and you're getting high marks, good grades, and everything. And now it is time for exam. When it is time for exams, if you haven't studied, if someone else was doing your work for you, and you know nothing on what you're going to be in the exam for, do you think that you're going to pass? Will you pass if you know nothing? Right? So if they have taught us, right, that a wall is going to be created for people who are going to be living in a different way, in such a way, right? If someone come and they say that they're going to die for the things, to save you from the things that you have done, if you yourself don't know how to live in such a way, and you are trying to clean an old world for a new world, when you go into that new world, won't you be taking all the things that you didn't shred into that new world? So wouldn't it be like living in the same world? Just think about it. So that is why I say the things that I say, that you are striving to be Christ-like, that Christ-like spirit, that way that he lived, which is also like Buddha, right? Buddha probably didn't do physical healing as they said that Christ did. He probably didn't do some of the things, but you can live in such a way, right, that is an imitation of that Christ-like spirit, right? Because if you don't do that, if there is a kingdom of heaven waiting for you, and if you don't learn how to live in such a way with your fellow men, it's not gonna be any sense, right? And also, if someone said that they are going to die to save you, right? They're dying to save you, right? That means that you automatically should have adopted their way of life, their way of thinking, so that you can live like them, right? It should be covered. You shouldn't have to be here now trying to and still failing, or not trying at all, but just waiting for that person who said that they're going to die to save you, right? Does it make sense? And that is to say, if I meet you at the mall and I say, you thought you had your wallet on you, you don't have your wallet, and someone comes along and see you struggling with that, and they say, hey, let me pay that for you, right? And they pay. Would the cashier still ask you to pay for what the person has paid for you? Would you have to pay twice? So that is critical thinking, right? So these are the type of ways you have to look at things to try to don't let people fool you and have you like a fool and laughing at you while they're at it. You know, if you want to keep a people bound and in slavery and in mental slavery, and you're going to feed them, you're going to keep them in a state of mind that they're not going to be able to free themselves, right? So let's say you're waiting for Christ to come and save you, right? And you don't do the things that you're supposed to do, and you're thinking that somebody's going to come and save you. You are stuck. You're basically stuck. You're not going to be, you're still going to be in that lower level, that lower vibration, hoping and praying somebody's going to save you. And that's how they keep people in mental slavery. So you're not going to rise above, because here you are waiting and thinking. So you're not going to try to your hardest. I'm not saying that it's everybody that's not trying, or that everybody that is, making an effort. But I'm talking about for those ones who are so convinced that they don't have to live to their full capacity, because if they don't, they can go and say a prayer and everything can go away. If you go and say a prayer about some deed that you did, and you don't try to overcome those things, you will keep praying all the time for things that you have done wrong. You have to try to live to a level that, hey, instead of praying for the things that you have done wrong, you can be now giving thanks, you can be now appreciating and stuff like that. Right? So those are the type of things that I am talking about. So I know there is a lot of Christian people who tend to get offended when you say certain things, and but because they're in that mind frame that is, they're blinded to the truth. They have been indoctrinated for so long about this same thing, and many are caught up in fear, and that is what is being used to keep people in bondage, fear. So remember, the great Bob Marley said, "Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book." What do you think he was talking about? He said to emancipate yourself from mental slavery. How long shall they kill our prophets? So whenever anyone who is ascending tries to come and tell us, hey, wake up from the lies, we find that we hear in the news they have been murdered, and most of the time it's our own that murders them for money. So you see, it's going around and around and around and around, because the story was written that Judas betrayed Christ for 30 shillings, 30 silver. And I'm pretty sure that these people who murdered our prophets that came to liberate our minds, that they were paid as well. So now, if you don't think, if you are afraid to think, someone else is going to think for you. And when they think for you, if they are consumed by power, to gain power, and to be at the top, and to have you doing their dirty work, do you think they're going to be telling you the truth? That's why you have to think for yourself. That is why you have to get up. Stand up. Make a stand for yourself. Make a stand for the future generation. So in order for us to reach to that level, we have to first, Look at everything around us. Look at ourselves. Look at our friends. Look at our family. You know, you have to look at everything. No, they're not gonna come and tell us. Like yesterday, I said, you know, it's not the pastors, it's the congregation, right? In some cases, that's true, because there are some pastors out there who they go hard at it and they try. And there are those ones, because as I said also, I see in three ways. Sometimes I see in three ways. You understand? You know, so there are some pastors out there that they're not going to tell you the truth, because they know what the food that they're feeding you are going to have to keep you coming back, because you're not basically learning how to liberate your mind. You are going more and more into the doctrine. So that will keep you coming back and keeping the plate full, you know. The tides place full. You're going to keep coming back and throwing that money, because you're going to keep trying to get, you know, God to bless you and God to do this for you and God to do that for you through the pastors. And most of the time, people are not even glorifying God. They are glorifying the pastors and the preachers. You know? So when you start looking at things like that, your perception, how you perceive things, you know, you start becoming enlightened, you know, and you can't become enlightened with other people whispering in your ears and contradicting what you are thinking and your new thoughts that are developing inside of you. That's why men like Buddha, they went into solitary. He went by himself to think and to, you know, when you have reached to a stage that you think that you have mastered your mind and your thoughts, and, you know, to recognize energy and all these kind of things, then you can mingle, because you know that you are strong with what you say and what you know, and all these kind of things. Because I bet the best way to get corrupted is to go around people who are doing the things that you're walking away from. And you might go with the mind that, hey, I could never ever fall back. Don't ever get like, it's good to have confidence in yourself to that extent, but let me tell you, when that negative force wants you, it will do anything. It's just like when you watch movies and you see, you know, cops go undercover and then they go in too deep, because they start forgetting themselves and who they are and what they represent. So the same, like if you go into crowds that, hey, you know, you think that, hey, I'm in control of myself, and then there, you know, their energy is more. You might just be one, but it might be 5, 6 of them who's on the same thing. And then they, you know, after a while you start getting into it, and that's how you go back. So you don't yield yourself into temptation. That's why it is written, if your right hand offend you, you cut it off. Right? You cut it off. Things that you don't go and try to, you know, as it is written, you know, put the Almighty to the test. You know, if you know certain things are going to lead you to a certain way, you avoid it. If there is no way of avoiding it and you get caught up in it, you just keep up here clear. You keep it clear. You know? They say, so as a man thinketh, you know, so he is. So that's why I'm always in this kind of mode, and most of the time I'm in this kind of mode, because I'm staying true to who I am. You know, and they say, put the Almighty in everything. So it doesn't matter what I'm doing. My mind is always partially thinking about and being conscious of what I'm doing. So that's how you monitor yourself and keep yourself, because when you are in flesh, the flesh is weak. It's easy to succumb It is easy to succumb to old ways and old habits, you know. So you always have to keep yourself in tune with the source, you know. So yeah, so these are the type of things that I wanted to talk about, and you have to question and see what mental slavery is, and you know, you have to start to look at, you know. And the other thing is that they try to make us think in a way to put a separation between us and a division. I'm being redundant, but hey, I like using words sometimes like that. A separation, a division between the people, that now you have Christianity, now we have Muslims, now we have Hinduism, now we have Buddhism, now we have all kind of things, right? But most of them are saying the same thing. They're saying preaching love, they're peace, all these kind of things, right? And then you want to separate yourself into this group and say, hey, I'm a Christian. Hey, I'm a Rastafarian. Hey, I'm this. Hey, I am that. No, it is teachings. You are going at the teachings. You don't have to confine yourself to that. You have to open up yourself to all of it, because what you didn't get from one, you can get from the other. You understand? So that is what, when you open up yourself to the universe in such a way that you're not going to say, hey, I'm not going to listen to those Rastafarians, those Muslims, those Hindus, because I am a Christian, I am this, I am that, I am a Rastafarian. I'm not going to listen to this one. I'm not going to listen to that one. You're keeping yourself confined. You have to open up your mind. You have to open up your mind in such a way to let all the greatness come inside of you. You understand? All the greatness you have to open up yourself to. But I can understand that, hey, many of us were brought up like that. Many of us are too afraid to even face the truth. Many of us do know that something is not right. But some don't know what it is that's not right. You understand? So you just, you know, when you start in getting into, you know, because I can explain to you. Okay, so when I started my journey, I was baptized, and then I was, you know, like any good Christian, you know, you singing and you praising, and you think that's what it's all about, and you think it's, you know, you think you have reached where you're supposed to reach, because now you're living like that, right? And you know, after I started to read more and I started to open up myself more, because I wasn't just into Christian things. I was trying to learn about everything. I was trying to be enlightened, you know. It was just something in me. No one told me to. At that time, these kind of things that's going on now, where everybody's, you know, trying to be woke, and it wasn't even at that time. I wasn't even seeing that happening. I was just by myself. I didn't have no friends, no family, anybody around me. I was just in isolation. And I started with that, and you know, I saw how I went through, you know, seeing how it is good to do unto others as you should have them do unto you. I went through all those kind of things, what not to do, and then I get my calling through Rastafarian. And then this is where I'm going to see a different type of teaching now. Now, this teaching is more telling you, because when you go to the church, they don't stress on what type of food you should eat and how you should dress. They basically say, you know, it's not your garments, it's your heart, and all these kind of things, which I'm not saying that's not true, because you can't judge a person by the way that they dress and think you can see their hearts. You understand? But when I went to Rastafarian now, when they talk about dressing a certain way, you know, I start to see the value of that. I started seeing the value of the way you dress, when you dress modestly, and when they talk about vanity. You understand? I start seeing the value of that, because now, if you are to be placed in a situation, like for instance, I'll give you a story, because I like to give little stories now. If you're in a situation that your house is catching fire, or some kind of thing is going on that you have to run. If you are caught up in vanity and how you look, if say you are sleeping and you get up, you will be studying to fix yourself instead of trying to look for what is important, right? To walk with. When you're thinking about walking with stuff, you're going to be trying to walk with stuff that don't even make any sense. It's like if you're being stuck on gonna go on an island and you're thinking what to walk with. There is water there, there is food there, but what are you gonna take if you're stuck on your looks? You're gonna take your makeup kit, you're gonna take all the things to that you don't really need. That's not gonna help you to survive. So that happened to me. I was my home was flooded in 2017. I had to flap out my sleep because water was gushing into my home, and at that point I had already humbled myself and walked away from those vanity things, and I was there. I had on pajama pants. My hair wasn't combed. I just had to pull a big winter jacket because it was heading into spring. I had to just pull a winter jacket, put on just looking ragatang. And what I just grabbed the bag with my documents for me, myself, and my kids, and I tried to get a few pieces of clothing for them, and that was it. You understand? I had multiple jewelry. I had so many nice things that, hey, if it was when I was in a vanity mind, I would be thinking to walk with those things. I would be thinking, hey, all these things gonna go. I would be stalling. But you want to be in that fit. That's the importance of those type of things. It doesn't mean that you see, I'm looking beautiful today. It doesn't mean you can't bring yourself to this. But you have to train yourself in a way that you know what is important. You understand? And just to add to that, prior to that, when I was just waking up, I had already gotten a vision that I should keep a backpack, right? Because something is going to happen and I would just have to grab that bag and run. So that vision came to pass with the flood, so that's when I even start to listen more to the source, right? So to come back now to Rastafarian teaching and stuff like that. So when I start now with Rastafarian, Rastafarians stress on what they eat, and they're very particular about things like that. And when I change my diet, I change my habit. I start getting the natural instinct. Because there was a time when my body was just refusing anything that wasn't fruits, vegetables, and water. It was just happening naturally. I wasn't just sitting down and saying, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to lose fit, I want to look fit, because that's not supposed to be the intentions. Your intentions is supposed to be, oh, I want to be healthy. Not, oh, I want to be, you look you're starving yourself, you're exercising, but you're not eating properly. You're just concerning your body looking a certain way. So those are the things that I learned from Rastafarian: how to eat, how to live a simpler life. That, hey, nobody knows what is going to happen. Let's say that you're used to living a high maintenance life, and God forbid, like there is a recession, there is a collapse in economy, and you can't live that high maintenance life. What are you gonna do? You're gonna trip out. I've heard of stories that people kill themselves when they lose their billions and their millions because their mind is just around that money. You understand? So these kind of teachings will teach you how to be able to cope in certain situations, how to be able to manage and live in certain situation if the tables are turned, right? That you're not gonna go out your mind, you're not gonna trip, you're not gonna lose it, So these kind of teachings, when I was going through it, I was just, I was just so open to it that, when I started, when I started wearing these, my skirts down to my toes and I'm wrapping up my head. I mean, it wasn't like, I had to be forced into doing it because it was part of who I am. So it became naturally. I mean, I was conceived in the height of Rastafarian. My father was a Rastafarian when I was conceived. So the blood is inside of me. That DNA that he had inside of him was inside of me. You understand? So I didn't have to go and say, oh, I want to do this like Rastafarians. Thank you, my aunt. So yeah. So it was natural and I didn't see the harm in it. I didn't see the harm in looking modest because sometimes the way you dress, that's what you're going to attract. If I go out in certain things, certain type of men, they're going to take that as an invitation. So to come and approach me in such a way, maybe in a disrespectful way, certain ways, you understand? So yeah, sometimes it's like that. And when I go out, I'm with my kids. I'm representing them well. I'm looking like a mother, and there is no one who will come and try to. When they see me, they see a woman. They see a mother with her children. They're not gonna even think or dare to come and approach me in such a way because they already see that energy is not there. If they can't come and approach me, they will approach me in a manner that is befitting of a woman, of a lady. Right? So I saw the benefits of that in Rastafarian. It's not that somebody wants to control you and tell you to hide your body, but it's a way for the Rastafarian man to tell his empress, his queen, how to protect herself when he's not there, to protect yourself in such a way that, we are living in a crazy world. We are not still in Africa in those days when we are in the Caribbean. If you're Garifuna, in those times when they used to wear what we call kappa around, just covering the front and the back, and our titties hanging out, and nobody will be studying you because nothing was sexualized. It was all natural and pure. We are not in those times anymore. We're not in those times when if you come from places like Pito, that you used to bathe in the river with the men and the women, everybody, children, everybody bathing, and breasts out, everything out, and nobody is looking at you funny. Because that time the world wasn't over-sexualized. It was just, it was just pure. So when now some people, you don't want to tell you what is control, and it's not. It's control if it's the intentions and the purpose behind it. It's the intentions behind it. So you just have to know, in this type of way. That's how I was perceiving it. You understand? That's how I looked at it. That's how I see it benefiting me to do those things. And there was times when I was given the freedom that I will go out and I would look, I will go in my little mini skirts because I was using it in moderation. If it's really hot, then I will go out in my little skirts and my little tank top and my kids and, but the energy would be on me in such a way. The way I was wearing it, you understand? The way that I was wearing it is like, I'm not looking for attention. The weather is hot. So when you build up yourself, that your energy, your aura can be read a mile away. This is what you're trying to do in the way that you dress. And in terms of your hair being natural from the Rastafarian teachings, this is it. Your hair is your antenna, right? Your hair is your antenna. And you have to treat it with love. You have to treat it with care. You understand? When you go and you put chemicals into your hair, your pineal gland is up here. This is where your brain is. You're basically frying your brain, you know? And I will give you a story about that, about my old self and how sometimes I can be stubborn and miserable, right? So I know that at that time I was in the Rastafarian teaching. I'm not supposed to dye my hair, put peroxide or anything in my hair. But at that time, when I'm going through things, sometimes I would rebel and do something that I'm not supposed to do, right? So at that time, I choose to dye my hair, and the father of my children was telling me, "Why you go and do that to your hair? Put back your hair in the color that God gave to you," right? I mean, now I'm in my rebellious state. And boy, I'm in my rebellious state. And I keep, putting in the peroxide and that chemical, you know what it did to my hair? It rotted my hair. It rotted my hair. And I took it as a lesson. I had to know when I pull my hair, it's like no strength in it. It will just come right off. Right? So I had to cut, because I never really did it from the roots. I had to cut off those ends because it was rotted. That is to tell you how strong of a chemical these things are, because our hair is so strong. You can't just bust it like that. But when you put the chemicals inside of it, it starts bursting your hair. And you see, sometimes some people, they don't even have no hairlines and nothing from all these chemicals and things that we are putting in our hair. So, and your hair is your antenna. You get, especially, to connect with your ancestors and all these kind of things. When your hair is there, back in the days of the tribes, those Apache tribes and all those people, they used to grow their hair really long. If you look at these Indian men, these Hindu men, they grow their hair really, really long. That is because your strength is in your hair. Your hair is a covering. It's there for a reason. It's here to cover your brain and, to give you that connection. Your hair is so important that, when something is eerie around you, the hair and your skin will raise, because that is like your intuition. Your hair is a part of your intuition. It's so important. You understand? So when you learn the importance of that, you would see how great the teachings of Rastafarianism is. So those are the things that I learned through Rastafari. That's why I rate them so much, and I, uplift the name. It's because of the things that I learned. And each time that I will go against a teaching, something like that was good for me, something would happen for me to learn a lesson so that I can realize how valuable that teaching is for me. And sharing, that is a big part of Rastafarian culture. It's just, Rastafarian is just a way of life to teach you to live in a healthier, more positive, When we were younger, I was hearing higher level. You understand? The Rastafarians was on the thing long time. When you talk about higher level, overstanding, instead of saying understanding, because they don't want to be under anything. They want to be over and above, So that's how I took my Rastafarian training. And what I learned is, like, as you go through your trainings and your lessons, and the more you pass, is the more that you're gonna get your privileges, you're gonna get your freedom, that you can be trusted to do certain things moderately. You understand? It's gonna become a natural part of your life. You understand? Because someone used to say, My kid's father used to say, your everyday act becomes your habit, and your habit becomes your lifestyle, right? So things that you start doing on an everyday basis, that's gonna be your habit, and then that's gonna become a lifestyle of who you are and how your character is gonna be, right? So so that's why we have to take care of ourselves in such a way, not only our bodies but our minds, and know what is important. Learn your body, not the biological side, not just the outside, the physical. Learn your biological side, that you know what to take care of, what to eat. You understand? When you look at your bladder and all these kind of things, if you feel like you have an infection, it's not everything you have to run and go to the doctor. You drink some cranberry juice and you clean that. You understand? You have to learn to take care of yourself in a way that if certain people are not around, you will know what to do. And that's why I respect my elders and my ancestors who were on the thing. Because you know why? They knew what to do. They didn't go to school, but they understood their body in such a way, because they had a connection, a pure connection with the source, with the Almighty. You understand that they had it naturally. It was inside of them, that they tapped into it. But we these days, we want to depend on everybody for everything, instead of going back and taking back what's ours. When I talk like that, say taking back what's ours, I'm not talking about material things. I'm talking about the knowledge that was stolen from us, that we were placed in mental slavery and allowed for our slave masters to think for us. That's what I'm talking about. So as I was saying, like, the way how we were brought up is that if you say that you're living with the Almighty, that you can't do certain things, no, when you reach to a certain level and the Almighty knows that he or she can trust you to be moderate and to be responsible and to take accountability, then you will be allowed to take part in certain little things. Because now if you go in and you're taking a drink, you're gonna be monitoring yourself, that you're not gonna be like, oh, you understand? I mean, it could happen sometimes, but you will definitely get a punishment for that. Because if you're drinking consistently, eventually your bladder, your liver, so the things that we eat and the way that we do things is part of a higher living. That is a part of respecting the Almighty, because we are showing him that we care. We are thankful for life by doing those things. When you're not thankful for life and you're not thankful or respecting the Almighty, that's when you will go out and do things that you know that he doesn't like. So now, as when you were just starting, you had the fear of the Almighty. You're going to go into respecting him and loving him or her in such a way that you're not going to do things that you know is going to offend him and going to tick him off, that he's going to have to discipline you or punish you. Right? So that's how you don't have to be stuck under any religion and just thinking. You have to build yourself, build your mind. You understand? And that is what you create. When you create that, that's the inheritance that you're building. That's the inheritance that you're building, that you're going to pass on to your kids and your kids' kids, because that's what they're going to know. Right? We grew up very unhealthy. We grew up in an unhealthy system, and I'm not like here to condemn that, because that's what they knew. That's what they knew. So when I come and I talk about it, it's to bring awareness. That's what you can't do what you don't know or you don't understand. But now these younger generations, we have to what we learn, we have to take it and treat them in a different way. You understand? How were you feeling when your parents were just niggy-naggying in your head, bothering you? Oh, bring this, gimme, bring that, gimme, like all day. And you can't like get tired. If you get tired, it's like a problem. Like you're supposed to be that robot. that they could be sitting right there and say, pass me that. Pass me what? Look the thing right there. What thing? And they will start abusing you. Give thanks, Shanique. Love you too. You know? And so when you have children now, sometimes I get irritated with mine because I have a strong household right here. They all have an opinion. They all are very, thing. But sometimes, even if I'm going to shout, I catch myself. You understand? Sometimes whenever I catch myself, I pull myself together. And, I would apologize to them if I offend them in some way, or if I accuse them of doing something. I treat them like little human beings, like individuals, not like a possession or like a little slave or nothing like that. You have to try to treat them in such a way that they will understand love. Instead of putting that mentality in their head that they have to fear you, let them love you. Let them respect you. Lead by example. You don't teach your children, oh, don't lie, but if somebody come to your door, you're going to tell them I'm not there. That's teaching them to lie. So it was a lot of hypocrisy. It was that many of us grew up. You have to say our brain was addled. It's not me alone. It's a lot of people, because it was very confusing. They will tell you one thing, do another, and now you think you don't know. So for me, it's to train your children to be that healthy person. You first have to be a healthy person, and then they would watch you. You don't have to teach your children everything and be talking to them. They are learning by watching you. They are sponges. They are learning by watching the things that you do and listening to the things that you say, right? So yesterday I said that when kids come into the world, most of the time, what you see they are doing and the things that they are doing, that will tell you who they are. So if you have a child and you see your child is being a certain way, like might be very aggressive, maybe that's the soul that he was before he was. So now you are going to have to heal that soul. You're going to have to nurture that soul in a way that, hey, you have to teach them not to be that aggressive. You have to try to make them be in a way that they can live in this world and not be a pestilence, right? And if you have one that is loving and that is kind, you have to just encourage it. That's why we are here, to teach our children. In the things that we recognize in them, we have to know what to work on. We have to know what to push, what to keep alive inside of them. You have to know your children. Sometimes I'm not in the room with them because they are going to the point now that, especially my boys, that they are going like little teenagers. So sometimes they want their space, because one of them told me, sometimes people just want their space and this and that or whatever. I said, okay, and I'm not in the room, but my ears is in the room. And I am listening to them having their conversation. And that's how I know the level of which they are, because the type of things that they're talking about, I know, hey, these are not little babies anymore. They're growing. They're understanding things in a different way. Even things that you don't teach your children or they don't see in your house. When they go out, they learn it. They adopt it. So you have to always be consistent in knowing what is going on in your children's life, because when they pick up certain things from outside and they come and they're taking it to the younger children, you have to know how to cut that off fast, right? So these are the things that I like to talk about and I like to dwell on. In even sometimes I'm having challenges myself, because being a parent, there is no book that can tell you how to be a parent. Many women, it's inside every woman, you understand, but you have to tap into it. You have to enjoy it. You have to want it. You have to be able to deal with the ups and downs, the challenges, because children are here to challenge us. It's a part of God's way of seeing who we are, how we treat these little beings who we have that power over. It's a way of seeing how we are going to use our power. If you have children and just because you think that you are their parent, you're gonna be treating them like any way and say, these kids are gonna grow up And they remember. I know. That's how I remember everything, because everything that hurts me, it's stuck there, and it had an impact in my life so that it didn't go away. That's how sometimes kids grow up and they just want to leave the home. You know, I had a point when I used to tell my son, hey, when I'm teaching them about certain things, and I say, I'm teaching you this so when you have a wife and children, you would know certain things, you would understand certain things. Like, for instance, when they're dropping their pants and just leaving it there, I'm like, when you get a wife, that's what you're going to do. You're going to drop your pants and think you have a maid to come and pick it up, things like that. And then he was upset because I said he had to leave the home and go and be a wife. So he was really upset about that. I started crying. So I said to him, listen, it's not going to be now. It's just, because he doesn't, that's the kind of relationship you want to build with your children, that they're not just trying to get older to leave your home because life is just so bad, So sometimes we try to install the same teachings we had from our parents, that they got from their parents, to the younger generation. It's not gonna work. Then that's why it's called new generation. Yeah, they're coming here. Most of the new generation are coming here very enlightened. They're very enlightened beings. So if you think that, hey, you are smarter than them or wise, we are not. You understand? Together we can learn from each other. So you can come and take a Caribbean, and I had to learn this because that Caribbean kind of way was so stuck inside of me that, because it was out of fear, that you were doing the things that you were not supposed to do. You want to come now and teach your children in that way. But I learned it's not out of fear. You understand? It's out of love, because when you teach people out of fear, they are only doing it because they fear you. If you are not around, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. They're not doing it from their hearts. So you have to teach people to understand why they're doing things, why you need to do this in such a way, if they don't have that understanding because of their environment, their upbringing. Why do you need to do this thing? Why do you need to share? Why do you need to eat properly? You don't just tell children or tell somebody to do this and you don't. When you give them clarity on the situation and it makes sense to them, they are more liable to succumb to it. Right? So even with your relationships and everything like that, you have to come out of that mode of fear and installing fear in people. Let me tell you something. If you are a king, right, and you have a kingdom, and you're not being fair to your people, and you're not treating them right, and they fear you so much, one day somebody's gonna poison you. Somebody's gonna build up that courage to poison you because you're not preparing your food. So many people is gonna be in that kitchen cooking that they're gonna poison you, right? Somebody's gonna betray you. Maybe your army, you might have an army. Somebody in the army is gonna be a mole. They are probably gonna, So that's why you wanna even live in that type of way with people that, hey, there are some people, mind you, that no matter, you could be the best person, you could be an angel, they will still be in opposition of you. You understand? But you can't sit and bother your head over that. You just have to be the best that you can be. So when whatever happens, that you are going to be in a frame of mind that if you see that you're dying, you're going to say, hey, at least I live a good life. At least I enjoyed this. At least I learned that. And if you leave, and if you die, and you have children, you are gonna go in peace, knowing that, hey, I trained my children well. That even if I'm not there, that they will be able to handle themselves in such a way. You understand? That if they have to go and live with somebody else, they would know, hey, when I get up, I have to make my bed. Hey, I don't drop my clothes on the floor. That they can protect themselves in a way. You understand? So that's that. When I say making and paving a way for your children, and if it's all these things. It's all these things. You know, so right now, as you can see, the world is it's being cleansed. It's being, you know, things are happening, and some people look at it as the end of the world. Me, I look at it as you know, it's new beginnings, and new beginnings can only come with changes. So and if we are going to have new beginnings, people have to change their ways. You know, people have to grow. And I know that some people that I know, is like their mind is not to what is going to come. You know, it's their minds are not open on that kind of realm and on that kind of level. So that's why I'm trying to bring awareness. And, you know, you've heard the tape that they said that they're going to eliminate 3 billion people on this planet and all these kind of things. Well, at this point, I think everybody will have come to the conclusion that it's a part of the New World Order. It's a, you know, and if you're living in fear, they're gonna turn us around. If you're living in fear, if they come and feed you crap that you don't, you know, it's not true, and you're gonna hold on to it. You understand? So if we are not, you know, coming to that point that we are seeing things for what they are and not being afraid, hey, we will go another 2,000 years. Another 2,000 years looking for Christ to come and save. We will continue living in slavery. Right? So that's basically what I have to say for now. I think I've said a lot. I don't want to go on too much, because if when I start going on too much, is like at a point my spirit gets tired. Not physically, but my spirit gets tired. I need to rest. You know, and if more thoughts come that I need to make another video, maybe I might make it, maybe I might wait, because I find my videos are going very fast, because the knowledge is coming very fast. That is to say that, hey, it's a rush, it's rush class, so that the people can really, because this is something, it's easy to grasp once you open your mind and you're a critical thinker. It will make sense, and you would even see things to add to it. So it's a rush class for the people who, you know, the people who needs to get it at last minute, who was delaying or who was in fear. And, you know, what else do we have to lose? What else do we have to lose? Nothing, right? So you always have to have a plan A and a plan B, and if possible, a plan C, right? So let's say yes, Christ is going to come from the sky. Let's say yes, a Christ is going to come on a chariot. You know? Isn't it better that at least you have already practiced the things that, hey, if he doesn't come, you are still prepared? If it's not so, yes? What do you want? Cookie? Cookie is not gonna, cookie is what?
Are we hungry?
You're not gonna get cookie. You want bananas? You want bananas? You're only hungry for cookie, Empress. That's cookie's not gonna do anything for you. I'm coming. I'm gonna give you want yogurt, banana. Think about what you want, okay? Yogurt? Okay. Yeah. So you wanna be prepared either way. So even if yes, there's a Christ coming to save you, hey, coming to save the world, whatever, that, hey, you know, if he doesn't come, hey. So that's basically it. And, you know, more powers, more love, more guidance, more protection. If you love yourself, you will want great things for yourself, right? Loving yourself these days is not just looking pretty. I just could wear the best clothes. I have the best things. Loving yourself comes from within. And then it will shine outside. And everybody will see the glow and see the beauty inside of you. Whether you have great features or not. Whether you're big, you're small. Whether you're slim, whether you're fat. Your beauty will shine. Whether you're light skin or you're dark skin. Whether you're dark as midnight or you're light as... Not me, you as the sun is shining, right? So these are the times that we are heading into. Peace out.